Hello class, welcome back. Today we're going to go ahead and continue with section 7.1, right? We're going to go ahead and continue with section 7.1 in our textbook, right? This is going to be page, what is this, 362, right? 362, we're going to be talking about section, confidence intervals, right? Confidence intervals. And, by this time, by this part, hopefully you've already gone over the definitions, right? The main definitions we're going to be going over is going to be margin of error, confidence level, and point estimate, right? Point estimate. Let's be sure we go ahead and go over those, right? And as a refresher, the point estimate is a specific numerical value estimate of a parameter, right? The best point estimate of the population mean mu, right, is the sample mean x bar. All right. And to have an idea of what we're pretty much going to be doing mathematically, right? The definition we have here for the margin of error is the max likely difference between the point estimate of a parameter and the actual value of the parameter itself, right? In other words, it is half, right? It is half of the width of the confidence interval. All right. So you may be asking, okay, so how do I apply this, right? Let's go ahead and start with our first example. All right. Our first example, hey, you're giving this mu bound, right? Bounded between 64 and 93. All right, 64 and 93. And we need to go ahead and find the margin error, right? So what we're going to go ahead and do with these bounds, right? It is going to be, right? It is going to be 93, right? Minus 64 divided by 2. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the upper limit. All right. This is going to be my upper limit. And this is going to be my lower limit. All right. So in other words, you may see this as upper limit minus lower limit divided by 2. All right. Let's go ahead and see what that gives me. All right. This here gives me 93 minus 64, right, divided by 2. And we should get 14.5. And that's it, right? This is my margin of error, right? All right, let's go ahead and apply it to the second problem, right? We have another problem here, right? Determine the margin of error for the confidence interval for the proportion, right? For the proportion, right? So let's go ahead and do the same thing, right? I'm going to go ahead and get the upper limit minus the lower limit and divide this by 2. Right, so this is 0.7 minus 0.584. We're going to go ahead and divide that by 2. All right, so we're looking for, in other words, that total distance. All right, so here I get 0.7 minus 0.584 divided by 2, and I get my margin of error is 0.058. Ooh, that should be a 5. Those are pretty straightforward, right? And there's a reason why we're doing this, right? This is a buildup, right? All right. Our third example, right, would be, hey, determine the margin of error for the confidence interval for the mean, all right, for this mean, right? Technically, what we have here, right, if you remember from our college algebra course, plus or minus states that have two answers, right? One answer is 22 plus 1.6. And the other answer is 22 minus 1.6, all right? So, in other words, all right, I have here, all right, let's go ahead and give this a variable, call it variable P, all right? I have 22 point, the one on the right would give me 23, the higher one would give me 23.16, and my lower one would be, right, this gives me 20.4, right? So this is pretty much, those are my bounds, right? My upper bound and my lower bound. So this here would be 23.16 minus 20.4 divided by 2, right? Divided by 2, I'm sorry. Did I say divided by 4? I meant divided by 2, right? Let's go ahead and do this. Right, and I get Oh, this is why. I'm sorry. I don't know why I wrote 16 here. All right, this here should be 6. All right, that should be 23.6. And let me go ahead and double check the other one, right? The 22 minus 1.6, 20.4. That is correct, right? So my apologies. There we go. That's why it wasn't. It was off. So this is 23.6 minus 20.4, right? We should get here 3.2 divided by 2, right? This here should give me 1.6. All right. So what observation do you make, right? What observation do you make whenever they give it to you in this plus or minus form, right? Like, hey, that looks familiar. Right? This is just here in the beginning. Yeah. So by observing it, right, this is given to you in a certain form, right? This form is going to be, this first value here is known as your point estimate. The plus or minus is going to be your margin of error, all right? So here it's very important to go ahead and know those definitions, right? And this form, all right? Because I may ask you, hey, here's this form. What is the point estimate? What is the margin of error, all right? So be on the lookout for that. Same thing here, right? This is point estimate plus or minus margin of error. Right, so if I were to say, hey, what is your point estimate? It's going to be 2. What's your margin of error? It'll be 0.006. All right. Then if you wanted to go ahead and get more experience with this, right, I know that the upper one would be 2 plus 0.006. The lower one would be 2 minus 0.006. All right. So this here would be 2.006. All right. The lower one would be 1.994, right? Let's go ahead and do 2.006 minus 1.994 all over 2. All right, go ahead and plug that in. And hey, guess what? It does give me 0.006, right? And you can confirm that, right? So, and yeah, this is right. This is going to be all there is for section 7.1. So please, right, it's very important that you go ahead and know the definitions, right? To go ahead and make sure you understand what's going on, all right? And that's all we have for today. And thank you very much for your time. And you hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.